Hello everyone, Laura K. Buzz here, and today is a long day. It's been a big day. Sorry, that was the music we've been listening to, which is a live stream of chill music made by Steven Universe. Yes. Apologies if I'm a little all over the place today. We had an election last night in the UK, and it was quite a lot. But I did something else last night as well. I stayed up until 5 AM watching the Game Awards because I needed something to distract myself into the early hours. And, as ever, the Game Awards were a very lengthy event where a lot of awards got announced. Some of them, the winners made sense, some of them didn't. I'm not too fussed today about who won and lost the awards. But, as is always the case, we got a bunch of game announcements during the Game Awards. And in this not quite live stream, we're basically going to try and summarise 3 hours of game announcements and just skim to the stuff that's interesting. So, good morning to everyone we've got in the chat. Hello, Zalno. Hello, Fire Rose, Gumba Master, Quatoria, Umbra Sage. Yeah, so I'm going to do my best to skim around in this, so there's going to be a fair amount of me trying to just be like, okay, where are the things that were news? Here we go. So, the first announcement of the night was fine. Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3 DLC. That game I loved the idea of in theory, but the game itself ended up being, I don't know. For a game about superheroes, I often felt very powerless in that game. It wasn't the power fantasy I'd hoped. But if you want Cable and Iceman and Gambit and I think Phoenix, they're getting added to the game, like, this month. It was, yeah, it's just here's a bunch of superheroes beating stuff up. There's some new challenge room stuff where you basically beat up a bunch of villains. There's more DLC coming in the spring. You know, it wasn't anything particularly exciting to kick the night off. We got a new trailer for, what's it called? Maneater, I believe? It's that game we keep seeing trailers for at the PC Gaming Show, like the last 2-3 years at E3. You play as a shark that's trying to eat humans. Humans kill too many sharks, so the shark wants to kill some humans. I will say about this trailer, it's by far the most interesting this game has looked. Like, this trailer does a much better job of making it look like a sort of fast-paced, silly arcade title. It gets a much better sense of dynamic, fast action. We'll see if the gag that is the game stays amusing the whole way through. I will say, let me scroll back a second. So, I like the idea that you can sort of build up and evolve your shark into something, you know, that's some kind of supernatural shark monster. The game's looking better than it has in previous trailers as well, and I feel like this is the main shot that to me goes like, oh, okay, maybe this game looks less cheap than I'd thought, because all of the PC Gaming Conference footage we saw for this game was very like, oh, this is a on the budget end of 3D indie, but like, that's a nice human character model. Like, that's... The game has really come together in terms of visual design in the last 6 months, I think. J.H. Wisner, thank you so much for the sub. Super appreciate it. Yeah, okay. Yeah. This game definitely looks better. I want to see actual gameplay. I want to see, like, 5 minutes of what is the moment-to-moment like when you're not doing the particular cool thing at that moment. Oh, thank you to the anonymous person who's just gifted subs. Super appreciate it. Yeah, so what else did we have on the announcements front? Let me have a look. There's going to be a little bit of skimming around. Okay, so we got a trailer for Humankind, which, as best I can tell, is basically like a Civilization-type game. It's do your sort of isometric perspective, build civilizations. I'll show you at the end. There is one thing that was their big, like, selling point for this trailer, and yeah, it looks fairly cool, is customizable avatars, but, yeah, I've never been a huge person into these genres. I'm not seeing anything in this trailer that looks particularly like, oh, this is the Civilization type game that I need to play. Apparently the studio's got a good track record of making good games in this genre. It's, I don't know, nothing here is like, that's a step forward for the genre that gets me excited to try the game. But yeah, I think this is it. Yeah, you make your own sort of like customizable avatars. Like, that's pretty nice, being able to sort of create who you're gonna be to, you know, try and create your civilization. And you can apparently, like, you know, update them and customize them as time goes on, which makes sense, because it wouldn't necessarily make sense for you to have a futuristic looking avatar when you are the leader of a Stone Age civilization, for example. So yeah, it's coming in 2020. We don't really know much more than that right now. I think we've got another trailer in just a couple of seconds. Yeah, so this trailer, we got a very, very truncated version of it during the Game Awards, and what I'm actually going to do is not use the Game Awards footage, because we got like a minute-long trailer, and it's really fucking cool, and then they went, hey, full trailer, online now. The full trailer is like 5.5 minutes, and I understand why they didn't use it for the Game Awards, but we got a very interesting, it's not gameplay, but it got me really excited for No More Heroes 3. So, let me find that, let me find the full version of the trailer quickly. You're seeing my YouTube recommendations. Apologies. No More Heroes 3. Game Awards. There we go. 5.5 minutes long. This'll do. Yeah, so it starts off with this really, like, nice art style intro that's very reminiscent of, like, 80s animation. It's got this really nice sort of filter over it. Yeah, Nova seems to be the name of a rocket, but you've basically got this kid. It's got a very E.T. vibe. Kid sort of alone, accidentally stumbles upon an alien. Follows its blood. It got injured in the crash. It's trying to escape from some sort of shadowy government types, like you see your sort of military coming for it. So the kid saves it, and it's all lovely. Yeah, it keeps the alien a secret pet. They go back to the crash site and find some kind of alien artifact. The two seem to be best friends and they love each other, and it's great. So I thought that this is the interesting moment of the trailer in terms of, like, narrative stuff. Basically, the alien and the human end up sharing psychic powers together. Like, the alien presumably has powers, shares them with the human. As we're going to see, the human uses them for personal effect. Yeah, this trailer's, like, art style is gorgeous. I'm so happy that this trailer exists, even if it's, you know, not a gameplay thing. Okay, Alien needs to go home, so Alien and Kid use their psychic powers together to basically build a rocket ship to help get the alien home. It's all a really lovely, sweet story. The alien promises, hey, in 20 years I'll come back. I promise. Wait for me. 20 years. I'll be right back.
Damon, I love you. In 20 years, I will return.
Yeah, in 20 years I will return.
No matter what.
No matter what. So we sort of skim forward a bit. The alien goes home successfully. Everything's totally fine. Skip forward 20 years. The kid has basically used his psychic powers to become big corporate hotshot CEO. He's definitely doing some kind of Professor X style mapping the world with his brain and his psychic powers. Sat waiting around for his alien friend to return. He talks about having an appointment. Oh, here he is! His friend's back. It's great. Can I just say, I fucking love the design of the alien when it returns. Like, isn't this the coolest fucking design, like, for what is presumably going to be No More Heroes 3's final boss?
Looks like you've been living large, Damon. You used our powers to get yourself a pretty sweet piece of the pie. Turn to my land. Relations. But I'm hella bored. I got nothing to do. I wiped out the neighboring planet, but then I was court-martialed and exiled to the Black Hole Prison.
Yeah. So, during the 20 years he's been gone, turns out the alien is Prince, who wiped out a few neighbouring planets and then got sent to a black hole prison. And, he broke out of intergalactic prison with a bunch of new friends from space prison. And they're here to conquer Earth. Doesn't that sound like a fun idea? We see lots and lots of... Okay, I think this bit of the trailer is basically showing off what the primary antagonist, like, moment to moment when you're not doing boss fights is probably going to be of No More Heroes 3. Big, weird, goopy gas laser seemingly turns everyone into sort of pink blob squid monster things. So, my assumption is we're going to be fighting a lot of pink blob monsters between boss fights, but, yeah, here's a good look at what's probably our list of boss fights in No More Heroes 3. They've got really fun, cool, wacky space designs. Basically, they're a bunch of alien villains who think that they are superheroes. Superheroes are cool right now. So, Travis is going to have to come in and basically become the... go up the rankings of intergalactic superheroes. Goddamn superhero. Yeah.
Superhero? You must mean me. Now galactic superhero rankings? What?
Yeah. So we see, like, the faintest glimpse of something that might be indicative of what gameplay looks like, but barely anything. I'm glad to see they're still suggesting it's going to be a 2020 game. I feel like it needs to be. It is a big Switch thing that, like, the Switch needs stuff for the tail end of next year. Having a look at the chat, Quatoria says, the only problem I have with No More Heroes is how much I hate Travis Touchdown. I basically love everything else. I think that, like, the appeal of Travis Touchdown to me is that he is a bit of a useless layabout, and there's something kind of endearing about that sometimes, but, I wasn't a big fan of, Travis Strikes Back, or Travis Strikes Again, the sort of top-down indie Switch one we got the other year, but No More Heroes 1 and 2, despite their flaws, some of my favourite games. Like, No More Heroes 1 is a deeply flawed game. I would struggle to give it more than a 7 out of 10 as a piece of media. It's still one of my favourite things. It's one of my favourite kind of crap games. No More Heroes 2 fixed a lot of the structure stuff, but wasn't as endearing to me anyway. But I am excited for No More Heroes 3, and I think that trailer was, yeah. J.H. Wisner says he's appealingly unappealing? I mean, kind of. There is an appeal to his slightly useless nature. I kind of enjoy it. Yeah, Arachnovolt in the chat says, I literally thought this was some kind of Ghibli game and I was pumped for that. Yeah, that initial section of trailer before the alien comes back looking like fucking David Bowie, I was willing to believe this was going to be... I mean... Ghibli doesn't really deal with space. Like, space is not super a Ghibli thing, but, yeah, this was probably the trailer I found the most personally to get excited about during the Game Awards. It personally appealed to me in the kind of games that I happen to like. So, from there, we got a new trailer for Final Fantasy VII, and, I will play this through. I don't think we really saw anything in this that is particularly groundbreaking or that tells us anything new about Final Fantasy VII. I think there was one line of dialogue that I want to find because I think it was fucking hilarious and it's well worth catching. Yeah, game continues to look really nice. It's a very visually impressive port.
What was his name
You gonna stand there and pretend you can't hear the planet crying out in pain?
Okay, so I like this Barrett dialogue. I like that they've made it that it's okay. Barrett says, "Are you gonna stand there and pretend you can't hear the planet crying out?" That's just a nice thing. I like that this game's themes of the world is fucking dying and we need to do something about it haven't been toned down. They feel like very relevant today, as much so as they ever did. I think that's not the line I wanted to comment on though. Where is it? I will say, having played this, or a demo for it, it plays really well. It's a really fun game.
You weren't thinking of leaving Midgar anytime soon, were you?
That's the line. You weren't thinking about leaving Midgar anytime soon, were you? Like, that is such a, we put it in the trailer to go, ha ha ha, we're aware that this whole game is set in Midgar and you won't be leaving. You weren't hoping to play other bits of Final Fantasy VII, were you? Ooh. Goodness. Yeah. Lots of people in the chat are saying that a sci-fi Ni no Kuni type game sounds rad. Yeah, I super agree with that. I would totally take a science fiction Ghibli RPG. Yeah, I got to play through, like, a section of demo for this a couple of months ago. The biggest complaint I had about it was the fact that the camera was pulled in too close behind the character when you're doing exploration stuff, but it feels fun to play. If they can keep that level of quality and content density up for the whole game, I'll be impressed. We'll see what happens when it finally happens. I'm really curious how long the wait between episodes will be and how many episodes they're going to end up doing, but I'm gonna play it and I'm probably going to enjoy it. Umbra Sage says, the bluntness of Barrett's dialogue has not been toned down at all and I kind of love it. Yeah, I like that Barrett is still like, no, the planet's fucking dying. Take it seriously. Right, what else do we have in the way of trailers? Music performances, we can skim through those. There's so much of this that I think we can sort of just skim over, because it's like, here is awards. If you want to know who won what awards, feel free to check my Twitter. I basically recapped most of the award winners as best I could. I think this is a new trailer. Which one is this? I'm wondering if this is what I think it is, this trailer. Someone sort of vaguely talking about, what if you could dream 75 years in one night, and what would that do to you? That'd be weird, huh?
And you would naturally, as you began on this adventure of dreams, fulfill all your wishes.
I can't remember what this is a trailer. Is this the trailer I think it is?
Let's have a dream which isn't under control.
Yeah, I think... Okay, yeah. So, we get lots of, like, really wanky... Okay, this is the big thing that was a surprise of the night, and this is the thing that caught me off guard. I never fucking thought that this would be when this would happen, and honestly, I think this maybe should have been a closer for the show, rather than dropped in, honestly, like, pretty early in the night, like, 20 minutes in. This sort of wanky trailer with all the footage of, scenery, I believe, is the new next-gen Xbox reveal. I think that is this bit. So we get sports cars, we get FIFA, we get Halo. Yeah, let's talk about Xbox Sex, because I'm pretty sure that's going to be the name, Xbox Sex. This is the new Xbox console, the previously called Project Scarlet. Oh no, my mouse has stopped working. Forgive me, one moment. Okay, there we go. My mouse just ceased to work and I had to unplug it and plug it back in. Yeah, this is the sex box. So yeah, it appears to be like, the way they're showing it off here is sort of like almost like a tower PC, a square that's sort of extruded up like an oblong. That being said, the disk drive here is vertical rather than horizontal, and I honestly think like most people will be putting it the other way round, lying it flat so that the disk, you know, disk drives are usually intended to be horizontal. That's how they like to... I suppose that's not, you know... The Wii had a horizontal disc slot, but yeah, it looks like a sort of oblong PC tower. I feel like it's the closest thing I can describe this console's look to. The controller looks essentially the same as every Xbox controller before it. We have a D-pad, tough to tell whether that'll feel any better than past Xbox D-pads. Same overall layout. There is one new button in the middle somewhere, because you've got your sort of start and select and then something else, which it's tough to tell from this footage what it is. My guess is it's going to be a dedicated sharing button like the PS4 and the Switch already have. Yeah. So, Xbox Series X. Let's talk about this name. I feel like this is a bad name. And I'm not saying that the console won't manage to succeed regardless. I think that it has the problem that the Wii U had in terms of naming, which is... It is unclear that this is a next-generation new console. And I say that... largely because of the fact that the Xbox One X exists. There is already an Xbox something X, the X Xbox, which was an iteration on an existing console. Like, I feel like if you told someone there's the Xbox, then there's the Xbox One, then the Xbox One X, then the Xbox Series X, and they go, oh yeah, that's iterative game titles, but. I do like that people have pointed out you can turn this into Xbox SEX, because SE for Series, X for X at the end. It's the Xbox X, it's the Sex Box, which I'm kind of behind that name, but yeah, it's... The name, to me, feels really... I feel like in terms of naming things... PlayStation are in a really strong position because they basically picked a name at the start and just iterated numbers. I feel like Microsoft are in a somewhat unenviable position with the Xbox naming, because if they start just picking a name and numbered iterations, their number will always lag behind PlayStation. It will always seem like they have a lower number, like theirs is less good as a result. But I don't think... this kind of iterative name helps in terms of overall brand recognition of what is the new thing. Like, I can imagine next holiday season some kids getting Xbox One X's when they wanted Xbox Series X's. I feel like Scarlet was a good name. Yeah. I'm not going to harp on the name too much. I think to me it seems like a poor choice. It's coming out in 2020, I believe. Yeah, holiday 2020, so that's about the same time we're expecting PS5. I will say, for the positives, I did not expect us to see... I didn't expect us to get new Xbox news at this conference. It really does go to show how E3 is becoming less and less important as time goes on, because... Yeah, there was a day where you never would have considered, like, showing the box of your new console and its name not at E3, or at the very least, at a press conference you set up yourself. Yeah, JH Wisner in the chat says, if they want to win the number game, yeah, just go with Xbox 20. Yeah, maybe name it after the year. That would be a way to get ahead of the numbers game. I think Xbox 20 would honestly be a really good name. Or it would be a solid name, at least. But this was one of the other really exciting trailers we got during the night, which, it's currently, I believe, other than Halo, what's it called? Halo Infinite? Halo for the new Xbox. Halo 5, Halo 6, whatever it is. This is, I think, the only other next-gen Xbox game we know about, and it's a pretty good get for Microsoft. It's exactly what I was hoping they would do. Ninja Theory... so, for anyone who doesn't know Ninja Theory, they're the people who made Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice, which I believe that came out in 2018, was easily one of the most impressive games of that year. It was a fantastic game. A sort of combat puzzle exploration game about a woman who was dealing with living with psychosis, and it was fantastically handled. For a game made by an indie studio, it had such superb visual design. Like, it looked like a AAA title when made by like a mid-tier sort of indie team. Now, I will agree with people. I don't necessarily think Hellblade needed a sequel. I think it was a fantastic game in its own right and stood on its own legs. I kind of would have been more excited to see something completely brand new from the studio. But, like, you look at this character here and instantly I was like, that looks a lot like Senua. Either this is Hellblade 2, or that studio only knows how to make protagonists with one face. Like, they only have one face they know how to make good. And yeah, I'm quite liking some of this visual design stuff about the people with the sort of branch masks made out of twigs that look like sort of animal faces, and the chanting. It's got a good creepy tone. I'm curious where you take Senua's story from here. There seems to be Vikings attacking, and some big rock monsters and a bunch of flaming glyphs. But yeah, Senua's Saga, Hellblade 2. I mean, I'm not gonna complain about more Hellblade. I think, like, that is the thing, that the first game was good enough that I will give that team, like, I will try whatever they make next. Yeah, let's see what people say in the chat. Umbrase says, I know that a lot of people agree that Death Stranding has great music, but I still feel that Sayonara Wild Hearts deserve best score on music. Honestly, I totally agree. I feel like Death Stranding used a lot of use of licensed music just to go, hey, we've got a famous person to make our moment feel really cool. Whereas, like, Sayonara Wild Hearts had a completely original soundtrack that was unlike anything we really get in games. It was a really good, like, sort of queer, femme-led, sort of emotional pop album that you got to play through. It was a fantastic music game. It's a real shame that Sayonara Wild Hearts didn't manage to pick up any awards during the night, but, yeah. Arachnivolt says this trailer is creepy as hell and I want it. Yeah, it looks good. J.H. Weisner, totally agree. Thrilled to see more from Ninja Theory, less thrilled they went with a sequel. Yeah, Caboose is right. The trailer it's cool, it sets a good tone. Arachnivolt suggests that the motion capture's phenomenal. Yeah. I'm curious if maybe this will be prequel-ish. If maybe... I don't know if they would do that. I'm curious how you continue her story, but I'm excited to play this. And, like, I think this was a smart pick for first next-gen game to really do a trailer for. Yeah, we don't really know what the game itself is going to look like. I will say, Ninja Theory, really good at impressive visuals. Considering what they did with the shoestring budget they had as an independent studio, I'm really curious to see what they can do with next-gen horsepower behind them, but also Microsoft money and time. I'm curious what a big-budget Ninja Theory game looks like. Okay, let's skim through what's the next bit of news. I did enjoy some of these like, little stories that Facebook Gaming did about, like, people making games in parts of the world. I believe this was a group of women in Afghanistan coming together to make games so that they could feel more represented. It's a really nice little story. It's well worth watching. I wanna pay more attention to who they are. Mortal Kombat trailer. It's basically there's a 50% off sale, but also the Joker's coming to the game. So there he is. He's the Joker. When's he coming? January 28th. He's the Joker. We got a trailer for oh no, this is just Death Stranding, scissor reel for Pokemon. This is that bit of the night where we just got a bunch of scissor reels all the time. Scissor reels, nothing else. Oh yeah, here it is. Control Expeditions. It's a new game mode. I don't know anything about what the game mode actually is. It's more sort of surreal environments to explore with that suite of powers. Control's a really fun game. I will take more Control. Choose your challenge. Undertaker Expeditions to earn mods. Okay, so this seems to be a sort of challenge mission section with new environments to explore in. It's out now. That's great. Let's skim ahead a while. Esports, I know who none of these people are. It's fine. Okay, new trailer time. We can talk about this. So, I believe this is the first official reveal we've had for a PlayStation 5 game. It's from Gearbox. Gearbox, you know, they have their problems, but I like the aesthetic of this trailer. It's a bunch of sort of medieval knights for... It honestly looks like it's going to be a fucking Final Fantasy game or something. But then you have little bits of futurism in the trailer, because you've got the sort of big sci-fi tower we're going to see in a second. Yeah. So, as I understand it, this is a game that can be played in either single-player or multiplayer, and it's a sort of melee brawler with medieval fantasy knights and magic. And there's very little to see from that trailer other than the aesthetic looks really cool. It's called Godfall. It's coming holiday 2020, which makes it sound like if it's not a PS5 launch title, it's probably going to be right around the launch of the PS5. Like, is it going to be one of the first next-gen games that we end up playing? Yeah, I don't think there was anything else we really learned about that other than PS5, Godfall. It's coming. Find out more about it next summer, probably at E3. Okay. More awards being handed out. Okay. We've got another reveal. Now, considering this was bigged up as basically Nintendo's big reveal of the night, I'm excited for this, but it's not as big as I'd kind of hoped we were going to get from Nintendo during the night, considering that we got, like, next-gen Xbox and next-gen PlayStation games. So yeah, look at all this nice Final Fantasy art. This game is... Here we go. Produced by the Bravely Default and Octopath Traveler people. Those are good people that make sort of 2D RPGs. Developed by the Bravely Default people. That's really cool. They make good 2D RPGs. The Bravely Default people are making music. Look at this lovely art. Doesn't this art look nice? It's not a 2D game, it's a 3D game, so I don't know why I'm getting excited about that art. Look at these chibi characters. You know what this is? It's Bravely Default 2. Now, I loved Bravely Default. I loved Bravely Second. I will point out, calling this Bravely Default 2 when there was a second Bravely Default game already it's a weird naming choice. Like, I get it. There was Bravely Default, the second part of Bravely Default, which was Bravely Second, and then Bravely Default 2 is probably the sequel to Bravely Default and Bravely Second. But it's a weird naming. It's a very... It's a very... It's a very Square Enix naming decision. I I'm gonna be honest, it was like 3 in the morning when this news happened, maybe 3:30 in the morning. I forgot Bravely Second existed, and I love Bravely Second, because I saw Bravely Default 2 and my brain went, I guess this is the second one. Sure. Like, I was that willing to just blindly believe Square Enix that this was the second Bravely game. No, this is not a port. This is a new Bravely game. Coming in 2020. Caboose says hopefully they'll port the two 3DS games to Switch as a single package. I hope so as well. I would love to see those two games get sort of a new lease of life on the Switch. I think that there's probably a market for them.
We've been making this game for 7 years. And
Warframe got an update. I know nothing about Warframe, so I'm going to sort of skim over it because I would not understand what was happening, if I'm honest. Magic the Gathering, there was a trailer. 3 new cards are being added to Magic Arena. A woman got pulled underwater but then couldn't die. I don't know enough about the lore to know the implications of that. That very hyperactive woman from E3 showed back up, and she was there to announce an award rather than to tell us she's working on something new, which is kind of what I want, because she's got such good energy to her. But no, she was here to... She came on stage basically to go, hey, here's another award. We had Fortnite time. If you play Fortnite on Saturday, you can see a clip from Star Wars and get a Star Wars glider, and you can buy skins to look like Rey or Finn or a Sith Trooper. It's Star Wars, Fortnite. We sort of knew this was coming. Okay, so this is a trailer for a game that, like, I know nothing about. I might be wrong, but I believe this is a sequel to an already existing game, so... Dude pulls back his sleeve, he's got a tattoo reminding him to fight demons. Fighting demons seems like a thing that if you knew you had to do in your life, you probably wouldn't have to remind yourself. Helicopter gets shot down. Spooky island. Woman has too many limbs and moves in an uncanny, creepy way. You've got an axe. Fight off some sort of zombie things in the dark. Sons of the Forest? So, as I understand it, The Forest, I believe, is a game that already exists, and this is maybe a sequel to that. I don't know much about The Forest. Ikumi Nakamura, that is the name of the woman I was talking about a minute ago. Yes, I'd completely blanked on her name. Thank you very much for that, chat. Okay, yeah, maybe it's a prequel to The Forest. I don't know enough about The Forest. It looks like it's maybe another game in that universe. What trailer is this? Oh, okay, this is the League of Legends single-player game. The trailer shows us nothing. It's called Ruined King. It's a single-player game. What genre is that?
And as you saw, it is the Ruined King, a League of Legends story. We're basically building on our experience, make turn-based RPG.
Okay, yeah. This is the one that's a turn-based RPG. I know there's 2 of these during the night. It's a turn-based RPG based in the League of Legends universe. You can play as some League of Legends characters. I don't know enough about League of Legends to really have much input on the plot. Who won Best Gaming Tweet of the Year? Here's Harley Quinn. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of excited for the what is it? Birds of Prey, the fabulous emancipation of Harley Quinn. I'm excited for a movie about Harley Quinn not being just subservient to the Joker and being like, no, I'm gonna go off and do my own shit. I think that Harley Quinn is an interesting character when she's not just the Joker's person who says nice things to him. It seemed a weird pick for a movie trailer in the middle of the Game Awards. Like, we had one other movie trailer. We had a thing for Jumanji, which was at least tied in with... They're doing some kind of movie screening double thing in cinemas with the Game Awards and there was a Dreams level that someone made that was about Jumanji, but... Oh, quit vaping. Reminder everyone, you don't need to vape. A Plague Tale Innocence is great. Here's some more gaming tweets. Who's got the best gaming tweet? Muscle Cake, thank you so much for the sub. Super appreciate it. Right, what do we have next? We had a sort of vignette of music of Cyberpunk. The soundtrack seems like it's going to be good, but I'm unsure how to feel about Cyberpunk still. More music performances. More music. Norman Reedus comes out to announce an award. Definitely no conflict of interest there. Okay, game trailers. Muscle Cake asked, was there new Cyberpunk intro or was it just the music stuff? It was just music stuff. It was some music playing in the background while a bunch of people talked about, well, we really like making music for Cyberpunk because we can stretch ourselves creatively and make things no one's heard before. Okay, this trailer, I really don't like the sort of GoPro strapped in front of the face selfie cam style of this trailer. Also, it's completely CGI. We have no idea what the actual game's going to be. It's some kind of brawling action game, but who knows what it actually looks like. It's a Dungeons & Dragons game. Coming next winter. Dungeons & Dragons video games have been really inconsistent in their quality over the years. I don't want to get excited about it, because you never know if it's going to be one of the terrible ones. Yeah. Bisected Brioche. I basically just went to bed last night and then got back from work. Was there any Metroid Prime 4 news? No. We got a 5.5 minute No More Heroes 3 trailer, and we got Bravely Default 2. That was about it for Nintendo, really. Okay. This is an Apex Legends thing. Again, I'm not a big Apex Legends person, but there is an event happening right now where it's like a party and it's Christmas themed, and if you play in the event, you get this skin for Mirage? I think Mirage is his name, and he gets this skin, but also the holiday event. There's a bunch more holiday themed items and cosmetics you can buy. Look, it's all Christmassy. You can buy a reindeer outfit if you want. Or be an elf. Yeah, it's basically here's a bunch of Christmas themed stuff in Apex Legends. Yeah, Mirage's Hollow Day Bash. They did include a mention of a Switch version in the Man-Eater trailer. Yeah, no, I'm not saying that there wasn't anything else on Switch, but like, those were Nintendo's two big announcements, I feel like. Oh, this is something. A sort of neon NHL hockey game. So, like, this game has got, like, actual real-world hockey people in it. Like, Wayne Gretzky is there. So, and he's wearing an Edmonton Oilers top, which I am aware is the team he plays for. But it's a sort of neon laser ice hockey? Ultimate Rivals The Rink for Apple Arcade. So it's a phone-based neon... Like, here's the thing. I'm up for sports games that take weird risks and, you know, make everything neon and over the top. I don't necessarily want to play it on a phone. Muscle Cake says, I remember some kind of sports game at E3 that was playable for like 3 days. Does anyone else? Yes, that was Roller Champions, which is the Ubisoft-developed roller derby style online multiplayer video game. Honestly, it's one of my games of 2020 I'm really hyped for. I maxed out, like, I got my ranking in that game as high as the game would physically allow over 3 days. Like, I love Roller Derby. I play Roller Derby. I am fucking excited for Roller Champions. I know it's not strictly Roller Derby, but it's close enough to scratch that itch for me. Yeah. Yeah. Right, what do we get next? Oh, Ori and the Will of the Wisp. That game is still getting trailers. I feel like I've been watching trailers for this game fucking forever, and I feel like it's never going to release at this point. Like, I'm sure it will, but I feel like they announced this game way too early. March 11th, it's only like 3 months out or something. Okay. Okay, so we got a section here where the Muppets made some really lame jokes for a while before announcing an award. The opening joke that Bunsen Honeydew makes is, "Oh, where's Beaker? I guess he's stuck in the lobby." No one laughs. Like, I think it was meant to be a joke about, hey, video games, they have lobbies that you wait in. It landed so flat. No. He was like, no one. No. Like, I love the Muppets. That joke did not go great. Beaker's VR headset is glued to his face. He can't take it off, which is a good excuse for him to scream. Okay, I'm salty that this is not a real thing, because I would totally play Untitled Beaker game. Look at this beautiful thing. I would 100% play a DLC or a mod of this where I just got to play as Beaker. Like, this seems like a lot of work to not just make Beaker a modded-in character. That's what I was hoping we were getting, but it's like, no, that was nothing. Let's do games for change. One thing I want to say is I'm glad that Kind Words got a good nod in this category. If you've not checked it out, it's a game on Steam that's basically those chill lo-fi music live streams, but you can anonymously put your worries and concerns out into the world and people will write you nice letters back. And the game's been out for like 3 months and it hasn't become shitty yet. Like, they've managed to keep their community positive and really supportive and lovely, and it's really lovely. I'm so glad that is a thing. Okay, I'm gonna skim past the Muppet stuff. Okay. What game is this? I can't remember what one this is. Oh, this is the new game from the Dishonored people, I believe.
A place where you can be a hero.
So, it's a game set in the Wild West, but you've got sort of cultists and magic and, you know, pentagrams on the floor and sacrifices happening. I believe it's called Weird West? Yeah. So it's a sort of isometric... Yeah, from the co-creators of Dishonored and Prey. It's a sort of isometric view. I don't know entirely what gameplay style it is. But the gameplay that was shown doesn't really make it clear what kind of game it is. Like, I like the idea of the genre and the people behind it, but there's not really anything to tell me, like, what will I be doing in that game. Yeah, what was this? There's a Final Fantasy wizard and a werewolf. And some people in fantasy armor. Some goblins. I think this is Magic the Gathering related again. Yeah, Magic Legends. Did they say anything about what genre this was? I think someone said it might be an MMO? Muscle Cake? No, there wasn't any Bloodlines 2 news. Yeah, that trailer showed nothing of what that Magic the Gathering game is. It's just, hey look! Magic the Gathering characters and stuff. Ah. Oh. So we got a bunch of trailers for Stadia. I do want to point out, one thing that these Stadia trailers did that I think is not necessarily great is they made a big deal out of, hey, buy Stadia right now. You can play your games on any of your screens. Your TV, your tablet, your phone, your this, that, the other. They did not point out the thing that if you buy it right now, as they're telling you to do, you can currently only play on a Chromecast Ultra on your TV. You can't currently hop over to your laptop browser, your computer, your this, that, and the other. Like, it's a really misleading trailer that implies that if you buy Stadia right now, you're going to have a lot more functionality than you are. It's such a long trailer as well. Yeah. Like, hey look, play on all these things. Buy it now! PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds are trying to rebuild the forest. Let's plant a bunch of trees, save the Amazon. Sizzle reel, we can sort of skim through that. Okay, Ghost of Tsushima. So we originally got this as a bit of a trailer during State of Play, Sony's Nintendo Direct type thing earlier this week, but they deliberately held back like most of the trailer. So this is all the stuff we saw at State of Play. I'm going to skim through a lot of this because it's mainly tone-setting cutscene stuff, and I want to show off the bits that look like actual gameplay. So, there's lots of riding horses through nice swaying countryside scenery. Okay, you've got jumping down and assassinating people from above. I'm going to say a lot of this honestly reminds me of what people sort of were hoping Sekiro would be. I like this idea of throw fireworks at people, they explode, knock them back, create your openings. You've got fire arrows. It's not entirely one-to-one samurai sword fights. I think that's about all that we got gameplay-wise. He let someone live. That's an honourable thing to do. There is a man behind the gruff mask. He is the ghost of Tsushima. It's sort of implied at the beginning of the trailer that he was supposed to have died in a war or a big battle, and then he came back and basically became a very scary assassin. I like that they had the orchestra here doing the stuff, but see what I mean about lots of just, here is a person moving through a sort of windy environment. Look at everything sway nicely. Climbing on ledges, it's going to have platforming elements. He's a very angry boy. We did get a release window. Summer 2020. Like, I feel like this has to be their just around E3 game at this point. Because it's, what, March, maybe May, that we've got The Last of Us 2 coming out. And then Ghost of Tsushima's probably going to be the last hurrah for the console. Like, it's not a release date, but it's something, I guess. Okay, Gears Tactics. A lot of this trailer is just CGI Gears of War looking stuff. Here is the evil alien space pope that you've got to go fight. We got little snippets of gameplay. Level 1 Vanguard, passive abilities. There's a lot of information on screen. So, these sort of cinematic close-in moments, I wonder if those are going to be... You took a shot, and maybe something like Mario and Rabbids. I know that that's not... I know Kingdom Battle's not necessarily the most instant pull for this, but you have your sort of top-down tactical view, and then when you do something like shoot a person, or dodge from a bullet, or don't get hit, it sort of zooms in, does the cinematic thing, zooms back out to the overview. That's the impression I'm getting from this trailer. Yeah. Big Space Pope vibes. Customize your weapon and your character, even though they're largely going to be tiny on screen. Like, it seems a weird genre to prioritize, like, personalizing your appearance when you're so often going to be so zoomed back. I mean, it looks like a good tactics game, and if you like Gears of War, it's probably going to be fun. Did we get a release date? April 28th. And you can look like you're a American football player if you pre-order it. We got some trailers for stuff we already know about. I had a bit of a cry at this next bit, probably because of the election, and it was like 4 in the morning and I was tired. There's a video about an 11-year-old whose dad committed suicide when he was a kid, and so he learnt game development in Roblox to make a game about depression and teaching kids what depression is, and that it's okay to ask for help and to talk about it if you're feeling depressed and suicidal, which I think is like, that's a really admirable thing that kid tried to do. I have a hell of a lot of respect for that kid trying to make something good out of a shitty situation. Okay, what else did we have? Skim ahead a while. Okay, we had one of these, like, sort of cheap fake-out trailers that we always end up with at... There's always one at every press conference. From the creators of Max Payne and Quantum Break and all of these super serious, hard, serious games, and Trivial Pursuit Mobile. Oh, it's rabbits with guns dancing to bubblegum pop and riding rockets. Yeah, I wonder... I'm gonna be honest, that looked halfway interesting. That was like, oh, a shooter where everyone isn't gruff men. No, of course not. We've got to shoot that. That sucks. We need more men with balaclavas pulled over half their face shooting guns. Couldn't possibly want a game with characters who weren't grimdark doing gun things. Yeah, it's called 9 to 5. It's apparently like an online tactical shooter where they're gonna make a big emphasis on having people work together tactically. Some tactical shooter. Honestly, nothing about it felt as interesting as, oh, this rabbit-based shooter looks new at least. Oh, Black Desert Mobile. Black Desert appears in every fucking conference forever. Black Desert Online, Black Desert Mobile, Black Desert. Are you playing our MMO yet? Plague Tale Innocence. Reminder that it's great and it's on sale now, and play it, please. We got a bunch of Game of the Year awards. Magic the Gathering, there's a 3-day event. Linus Tech Tips is still trying to sell us TVs. Green Day did some music. So the only thing you need to know out of the Green Day music section is there's a Green Day music pack, like, I think it's out now, for Beat Saber. It's got 6 of their, like, old classic tracks that people know and like, and then also a handful of tracks that are off their new album that no one really cares that much about. Yeah, no, Green Day is still alive and around, and I believe they're touring with Weezer at the moment. Like, Green Day and Weezer is a hell of a ticket to go see, but, yeah, Green Day music pack for Beat Saber. I'll always take more content for Beat Saber. I fucking love Beat Saber. That reminds me, I need to play more of that Panic at the Disco pack for Beat Saber. Ugh, what's next? What's the next premiere? I'm trying to remember all the things we learned about. Oh, okay, yeah, this seemed kind of interesting. So, there is a land with a bunch of magic. Some of it seems to be good, like the magic, the blue magic, because blue is the good colour and red is the bad colour. The blue magic that makes this stag made of twigs be able to have a lovely, beautiful life. But then there's the evil red magic that makes this sort of bloated rhino rock thing. And that's the bad magic. And the red magic, the blue magic's going to keep this deer alive. But all the humans are going to keep fighting to try and take the red magic. So like, the Romans wanted it. But it's going to go bad for them. Oh no, they're demons now. And then these metal-faced people want the red magic. And oh no, their greed to get this powerful magic is turning them against each other. And there's monsters. And everyone is waging wars over who gets the magic. And lots of factions are like, I want to come and get the magic. And it's called New World. I think the only thing that's necessarily particularly interesting about this, we got zero gameplay, obviously, so very hard to tell what the game actually is going to be. My guess is a third-person action adventure combat game. It's coming in May, and it's, I believe, one of the first like major titles from Amazon Games, because I know Amazon have been trying to develop AAA video games for a while, so, I mean, we'll see. What else do we have? Are we nearly done? Reggie Fils-Aimé gave a really quite a beautiful speech. I know he's not in charge of Nintendo anymore, but he basically gave a speech about how indie developers and first-time developers are really important to the industry, because every major developer you've heard of started out as an unknown person trying to make games. Like, he talks about Miyamoto, Sakurai, Iwata. Basically, hey, Iwata and Miyamoto started off as people making tiny little games by themselves that they thought no one would play, and now Nintendo. You've got to support indies and be good to them and big them up when they do good work. And I'm like, yeah. It was a really nice little speech. I'm glad he gave it. It was a really nice intro into the winner of the best. What's the name of the award? Fresh Indie Game, which is basically studio this year that made their first ever game. The Disco Elysium won it, which I think was a no-brainer. It's unbelievable to me that Disco Elysium is this team's first ever game. It's fucking phenomenal. Were there any other announcements? Oh, we got another League of Legends game. This one is a side-scrolling action platformer about an inventor kid who makes a time travel device, and he's got to live with the consequences of time manipulation, convergence. So yeah, like here, oh no, he uses his time machine to unblow up a building. What consequences will that have? Yeah, this is the rollout of single-player stuff for League of Legends. We've known it was coming for a while. There's no real gameplay, it's just sort of tone-setting pieces right now. Oh, okay, this was a new game. It's tough to tell from this trailer exactly what we're gonna get, but this is Surgeon Simulator 2, which I got from the sort of cel-shaded style and the fact that, like, surgery was a thing that we keep seeing, but everything seems to be about, like, moving consistently on conveyor belts rather than standing still, like moving around in minecarts. There's also multiple characters. So as you'll see in a second when we eventually get to the surgery, you've got 4 people stood around in one operating theatre, which my guess, or 4, maybe 5 if you count the... Oh. Okay. I was incorrect. On second watch, I now understand. The thing on conveyor belts was the surgical subject's head. They were a partial body that was being assembled to be operated on. That's fair. Okay. In that case, I'm assuming the conveyor belts have... I was going to say nothing to do with the gameplay. Maybe you have to operate on multiple parts and more parts of bodies will start popping in and you've got to pop them into place and operate on multiple people at once or something. But, yeah, more interestingly, you've got 4 bodies around one operating person, which I suspect means multiplayer co-op surgeon simulator. It's arriving in 2020 at some point. Yeah, more scissor reels. Yeah, quit vaping. Here's a mobile game. And here's a scissor reel for PlayStation Now. Someone won a big TV. Death Stranding won some kind of director award. Here's some VR games you can play on the Oculus Quest. They got nominated for Game Awards. Magic the Gathering Arena, Epic Games Store. Lots of just scissor reel stuff. Let's talk about Michelle Rodriguez. She's a raging fucking transphobe. She does not believe intersex people should have rights. She talks about intersex people in really derogatory, disgusting ways. She has some shitty anti-LGBT opinions in general, and she recently appeared in a film about how the evil trans lobby are transing people against their will at gunpoint and evil trans people forcing you to be trans, and therefore her character, who has been forcibly transed, has to go on a murder rampage and kill everyone because she's trans now, and frequently makes really gross comments about trans people's bodies. She's really shitty and gross, and yeah, do some research on Michelle Rodriguez. She's not great. Oh, apparently she's a Sandy Hook truther as well. She thinks that Sandy Hook was faked and that all the kids are actors. I didn't know she was a Sandy Hook truther, but it doesn't surprise me. She's one of those Hollywood types. Yeah. There's some game about the Fast and the Furious, whatever. It's coming in May. You shouldn't play it. Don't support Michelle Rodriguez. Oh, okay. Apparently the Sandy Hook truther might have been Ronda Rousey. I mean, it... The fact that I was so willing to believe that about Rodriguez should tell you a lot about the things that I know for a fact she has done. Like, it's very believable of her. She's one of those types. Also, while we're on it, fun fact, the woman who does the female voice for Commander Shepard, not only believes that vaccines cause autism, but also is like, maybe people with autism should, maybe we should stop those births before they happen, huh? Yeah, she's not great either. Yeah, Jennifer Hale... Yeah, Jennifer Hale is a little bit, she's the anti-autism kind of anti-vaxxer, but also, like, she's dabbled on statements that have bordered on the eugenicist. Yeah. Jennifer Hale, I fucking love Jennifer Hale's voice, it's a real shame. Sorry, I'm now just on the track of people with really bad track records. We ended with a big music thing, here's a bunch of the games we saw. I don't think there was any other news, really. We had Game of the Year. I don't think there was any big major last announcement, was there? Oh, Sekiro won Game of the Year after not getting really nominated for any other award, which always catches me off guard. But, yeah... So yeah, that is about it for all of the trailers and announcements and things we got. If you want to know about the the awards themselves, check out my ludicrously long Twitter thread that's currently up. But, yeah, thank you very much for watching, everyone. I hope you've enjoyed. I always really enjoy doing these not quite live streams. To me, it feels like a better way to actually talk about the news that's happening without accidentally talking over announcements and missing information and stuff. So, yeah, thank you very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed. We'll do another one of these soon. I hope you have a good day. I'm going to try my best to have a good day. I'm going to have a lazy one as best I can, because it's been a long day. Thank you very much, everyone. Bye. That's not the goodbye button. That's not it. There we go. Bye.